Thank you, and thank you for this great occasion for me to come all the way from Mangalore to address you for 10 minutes. Yeah, but I would like to take every bit of that 10 minutes to kind of share some of the things that I have in mind. First, from all the readings that I've done in terms of the Bible, that's our source of understanding, and the papal encyclicals where we get the church's teaching, and even from theological developments on sustainability development, I feel that what we can best defend is the concept of integrated global sustainability development. So that's what I present here. Integrated global sustainability development. Most of the discussions thus far are bear on sustainability or sustainability development, but I personally feel that based on the teachings of the church and the Bible, and based on the theological writings of various authors, that it has to be global. We never like to be provincialistic in terms of sustainability development, and more importantly, it is integrated. Every sphere, every factor, every dimension of sustainability is included. I'll cut through some of these things. Sustainability. The one which is very common is capacity for continued existence and operation into the long-term future. I personally feel that given the social teachings of the church, this is a dangerously anthropocentric concept. What has happened is, thus far, for decades and decades, we thought that the earth and the universe was given to man, for man to use, abuse, exploit, and do whatever. So it was an anthropocentric concept of use and development. I think that is far from the truth. After years and years, and perhaps millions and millions of years of creation, man came just about relatively very, very recently. And the universe was sustaining very beautifully well. But the degradation took place when man came around. And therefore God had to create man on the sixth day. And as soon as he created Adam and Eve, God had to tell Adam and Eve, now don't get excited with all this beautiful creation. Use it, multiply it, till the land, but more importantly, serve it, preserve it, and let it grow. It's not meant only for you, it's meant for posterity. It's not only meant for human beings, it's also meant for non-human beings. So that is the concept that is much stronger with the kind of more current reading of the Bible and that of the teachings of the church. Integrated social development. The other one is the very classical definition we have from Bruntland Commission, which defines social sustainability development as meeting the needs of the present without compromising the ability of the future generations to meet their own needs. When this definition came in 1987, they felt that this was the last final word on sustainability development, because this answers all the questions. But from a Catholic point of view, we feel that this is also anthropocentric. It's too much man-centered. It looks like that man or woman has been given the entire charge of not only planet Earth, but of the universe. That looks again slightly overdone. So we feel that we have to kind of tone down the human aspect of it, or human venturing of it, and have an integrated development approach to it. According to the Bible, IGSD, that is Integrated Global Social Development, and is a proactive prosperity concept. Thus far, we always think of development as a kind of a damage control concept, where the damage has been already done, and somehow or other you have to do this and do that. You repair the water layer, you repair the river layer, you repair the mountain layer, you repair the air layer, and you repair whatever the other layers we have of life and limb. And so that is the major concept we have come up with. But according to the Bible, that is negative control is just the consequence of what we have done. When God created, God did not create anything evil. God created everything good, and that was given to man. But man, because of his use and overuse, and abuse possibly, has rendered creation fairly non-livable, or at least non-renewable, and doesn't have a long future. And therefore, currently, sustainability development has taken the negative tone of being reactive and trying to patch up by whatever type of methods we can use to kind of save creation from total destruction. But that's a negative approach. So there has to be a positive approach. IGSD is a moral and ethical. It's an ethical concept, a moral concept. First of all, I said the IGSD is a prosperity concept and a progress concept, not so much a repair damage concept. Then more importantly, it's also an ethical concept. It's a moral concept. If the cultivation of the earth and the preservation of the earth has been given over to human beings, and human beings are moral and ethical because they have got a reason and the freedom to choose, then the most important function of us on this earth, which is sustainability development, has to be ethical and moral. And then the normal theories of ethical justice, like teleology, deontology, corrective justice, and procedural justice, and distributive justice, ethics of virtue, ethics of care, they apply. And minimally, when you apply them, then you get a good idea of what IGST should be. And this again, I've said, most of our effort is mostly negative, and therefore it's no good. I'll give you more or less what I have in mind. The integrated view of social development or sustainable development provides a new definitions of the conditions, limitations, and goals of progress. It's a progress concept. It's a prosperity concept, and not simply what I would call, repair damage concept. Instead of measuring, or did I lose it now? Instead of measuring progress as a constant increase of freight volumes, transports, and speeds, that's what we think. We always think of progress in terms of increasing GDP. And everybody measures the progress of a country in terms of increment in GDP. If it is a two-figured process, it's still better. But the earth cannot take too much of GDP growth either. It either overheats the economy or overuses the resources, etc. So we have to kind of get back and think as to what exactly is progress. So I'm not discussing that here, but in the overall events of social sustainability development, we can be simply working towards progress, growth, unlimited growth. These are not themselves sustainable concepts. So we have obviously must be thought through. Second, it is Christocentric. For us Christians, the greatest gift that God gave us was Christ. Christ became flesh and blood, therefore he became part of this earth, and because of incarnation, the earth has been elevated, has been divinized, has been sacramentalized, sanctified, and then especially by the death of Jesus and his resurrection, the earth has got a tremendous uplift. And since Jesus rose from this earth to heaven, he has taken part of this earth materiality to heaven. And therefore this earth has got a destiny. Not only here, but in heaven. So therefore, Christocentric is a very important concept in the understanding of integrated global social development. And then you can bring, I don't call it anthropocentric, but I call it anthropodeontic. The word that is man's duty, mankind's duty to develop the earth and see that it prospers. In that context, IGST fills in. Finally, it's cosmocentric. It is the entire universe that we have to consider. This earth. Earth is just a speck of dust in the entire universe. So duty is to take care of the universe. And now with all this outer space research and more than 5,000 satellites being thrown into space, we're obviously, making the entire ozone layer and all the other spheres rather dangerous for us. Now that is a violation of sustainability development that we have to confront. And lastly, it is celebratory. Think of sustainability development as cut down here, clean up here, do some ecological waste, control there, etc. There's no celebration as such. If you read the Bible, if you read the social teachings of the church, the whole thing is a celebration. We do it. Of course, we have done some harm. We have done some, damage. So we have to repair it and do it. But that is not the concept of social development. It is we take the entire universe that's given to us as a challenge, transform it. In the process of transformation, there may be a certain amount of damage control. So therefore, the celebratory concept. So theocentric, Christocentric, anthropodeontic, then cosmocentric, and celebratory. If I put all these thoughts together, there are two dimensions that need to be thought through. First is the dimension of how do we apply IGSD? Is it reactive or proactive? If it is reactive, it is kind of negative, and therefore damage control. If it is positive, then and proactive, it is development management. Then on the other side, we've got natural ecology versus human ecology. With that division, we have got four major zones of IGSD: the environmental conservation, the human conservation, environmental development, and human development. According to me, this is fairly comprehensive, covers every sphere of sustainable development, and that's the reason I call it integrated social and global development. That's the table 1 I gave you, and for instance, I didn't fill up those. Now, this is the first cell. If it is reactive and natural ecology, this is what you do. It is environmental conservation in terms of reduction of carbon emissions. That's what our professor from Belgium spoke about. Reduction of deforestation. We have not heard about it much, but it should come. Reduction of air pollution, reduction of water pollution, soil erosion, land degradation, water pollution, recycling of waste, and many, many others. But this is 1/4 of the duty of IGSD, which is reactive, negative, and towards natural ecology. The other one, reactive, negative, but human ecology, totally different mandates and imperatives. We've got reduction of global poverty, which is very important. That was spoken of, for instance, both as great excellencies from Ethiopia and Burundi. But that's very important. Reduction of poverty is the most important thing in sustainability development. Reduction of global disease, especially pandemic HIV positive disease. As long as that disease is conquering us, etc., there is no such thing as sustainable development. Reduction of global violence by war. War can destroy anything overnight, whatever we have developed. And reduction of global terrorism. That's something that we cannot control right now. Reduction of nuclear proliferation. Reduction of global injustices. Reduction of global discrimination. Reduction of global religious bigotry. Reduction of fraud, corruption, and bribery, especially which is getting rampant everywhere, especially in India. Without this, there is no integrated global development. This is the third cell, which is positive and reactive, but under natural ecology. This is development concept. Better forestation management, better land development, better air quality management, better biodiversity management, better water harvesting, better agricultural productivity, better minerals mining, better energy productivity, etc. If you see in the Bible, a lot of these themes that emphasize these things, the positive aspect of development. And finally, the last cell, which is perhaps the proactive, positive development management, but under human ecology. This is better educational systems, better healthcare management, better law and order management, better adjudication processes, better respect for human dignity, better and moral value management, better accountability stewardship, better dedication commitment, better interreligious dialogue, better communal harmony, better peace and tranquility, and so on. These are the very vital aspects of integrated sustainability development that have been ignored. I want to propose as an entire package. Okay, the church thought about sustainability development way back in 1893, when Pope Leo XIII wrote his first encyclical called Rerum Novarum. Thereafter, there we had the seeds of what sustainability development is. This is 1893, almost 100 years ago. So therefore, thereafter, the church has reflected and has come with various approaches to integrate social development. And we can get scripture passages and social teachings of the church for covering anything. Water scarcity. It's a story of Noah, the story of the ark, and the rain covenant that God signed is another great example of sustainability development. Biblical perspectives on IGSD. Through the Old Testament, the Bible, especially the Psalms, has been laying the foundations for the modern concept of IGSD, and so on. I won't there are all these quotations. I leave these 4 points as the text gives it for this year, because it's a more short presentation. I cannot do this or that. At the same time, one should not say that, okay, the Christian perspective is just that contained in 10 minutes. I like to kind of go over this. It is about 33 slides and so on, maybe 39 slides. But more, there's a text that covers. I like to leave it here so that the authorities can take over. And thank you.